Hello, welcome to another video. On this video I want to show you how I make my DIY targets. This hasn't been proven yet if it actually works. This isn't intended to stop the arrow, it's merely a target, the pallet behind, and I've got some logs behind there as well. That will stop any arrows or stray arrows if I miss. This is only going to be from 10 meters, so 10 meters isn't that far away really. So the construction itself is made out of pallet slats. Pallets are relatively easy to get hold of. I just smash one up, and if anybody's smashed one of them pallets up to use the wood, it's a tough process. I use the cold chisel and a bolster hammer in the end. So the actual width of the wood itself is 10 centimeters, and it's about 64 centimeters across and 64 centimeters down. So it's obviously been filled with expanding foam. Now when I built this, what I did was I stapled some cardboard to the front of it, and then inside I put a layer of tin foil, as you'll see in the photos now. Now what happened was, when I started to fill it with expanding foam, I didn't know this till afterwards, but it left a cavity between the tin foil and the foam where it expanded to. As I went up in layers, so I did one layer first, then I put some coconut husk. I think you can get it from like Pets at Home in the UK. Any animal store will sell it. I got mine on Amazon, and basically all it is coconut husks that have been broken up, smashed up, so it's like chippings down to dust. And every layer I did of the expanding foam, I put a layer of that in, and just built up by a few layers. I'll just bring you around the back. So here you can see it's got a very good depth of expanding foam. I don't know what that is. Let's get the tape measure and have a look. So in its thickest part, what's that? 10 inches, roughly 10 inches, 25 centimeters. So there's a good amount there. Right, so as I've said, when I built the target, there was a void between the tin foil and where the foam wanted to expand to. It wanted to go backwards. I obviously did it lying down, and then I turned it up face while it all expanded. So it left a cavity. I'm not too concerned about that, because we can always come back and fill it in with more expanding foam. The idea behind this target is that once it's got shot out, over time, once it's got shot out, we can come back in, tin of expanding foam, which is like £6. We can just fill it all in again. So the cost of the target, the wood was free, obviously a pallet, got an old pallet, smashed it all up, got the wood off it. Cardboard was free, tin foil was free. All it's cost me is the price of the expanding foam. £6 a tin, I used 3 tins on it. It's pennies, we're talking pennies really. So I got myself some targets, some paper targets, and some of these pins. And today's test is I'm not aiming for the bullseye specifically, but I do want to test the depth or the penetration of the arrows. So I will be aiming for this area, because that's where the hollow is, and then we're into the main depth of the foam at the back. We'll try and put a few in round the sides as well, see how we get on, just to see how far the arrow penetrates. Like I say, this isn't a backstop. The wooden pallet behind will stop the arrow. We're on a downward trajectory. We're only from 10 meters away, so it's quite close. Any straight arrows will go straight into the ground and hopefully won't ricochet off. So that's about the target so far. I'm going to show you the arrow tips that I've got now, because I've got 2 different types with me. I'd like to tell you the spine of the arrows, but I'm not quite sure. I think they're 550s, but don't quote me. The PG ones. So I've got 2 different tips. They're both 100 grain tips. One's like a bullet style one, and one's a field tip. So I'll show you them now, and then we'll crack on. We'll get the bow strung, and we'll give it a couple of tests. So the arrows I'm using, we've got this type, which is kind of a bullet type. That's on the white and black fletchings, and we've got this kind of field tip, which is on blue fletchings. Right, so let's get the bow strung up and see how we get on. So I'm at the 10 metre mark, so I'm going to be starting off with the white and black fletched arrows. These are the bullet style tips. I'm just going to aim for the corners, just 3 arrows, aim for the corners, then I'll do 4 with the blue fletchings, which are the field tips, and see how we get on from there. So 10 metres. So I'm not particularly aiming for a bullseye or anything, just try and get it in the corners. Well, it sounds like it's actually stopped the arrow and not gone through into the pallet wood behind. Arrow number 2. And then arrow number 3. Kind of in the middle, that one. Right, now for the blue fletching arrows. Again, just in the corners. Arrow number 1. Sounded like it went into wood, that one, which is good. And arrow number 3. Not particularly bothered about the groupings, like I said, this is just a penetration test. Right, so let's have a look at the 3 field tip bullet arrows first. What's that, about 6 or 7 inches? Yeah, about 6 or 7 inches. Then they are stopping them, they're not going all the way through to the back. About 4 inches, that one, and this is kind of hollow here. But it still didn't go all the way through. What's that, about 12 inches. Now for the blue ones. So the same again, we're looking at 6 or 7 inches on that one as well. That one sounded like it hit wood. It has gone straight through by about 2 inches, but it didn't hit the wood, so it did stop it. I'll just bring you in for a closer look. So there's the arrow, it's gone into the thinnest part, one of the thinnest parts of where the foam is, and that's where it stopped. So it has actually stopped the arrow in about 5 inches, which is good. I've got no concern now over it. I know it can stop the arrows. That's absolutely fantastic. Right, so one thing did happen in that round. I'll bring you through around. Right, so we can see where I've missed the target completely. We've got some pallet slats on top of a pallet, basically. Now, this is a blue arrow. It's only gone in by a tip, not even up to the insert of the tip. It's just literally the tip's gone in. So I'm quite happy with this backstop. Right, okay, so I've seen it from 10 metres. Yeah, my grouping's not that good. It's only probably the second time I've fired this bow, and I've got a new string on it as well, which is slightly shorter than the last string that I had on it. So whether that's something to do with it or not, I don't know. It's not tuned. I've not tuned anything, so we are pretty much stabbing the dark. Over time, obviously, I'm going to get better. Right, so what I'm going to do now is try from 5 metres. Should get a better group in, to be honest with you, but from 5 metres, and aim for the middle. Obviously we know we've got the hollow there, and see how much penetration we get. So all 6 arrows from about 5 metres. Arrow number 1. Arrow number 2. And arrow number 3. That's all the blue ones. So we're on to the white flections now. Arrow number 1. Arrow number 2. I think these arrows are slightly heavier than the blue ones. Arrow number 3. So much better grouping, apart from that stray one. Again, they're not going all the way through. Nothing's penetrating the back of it. Right, let's rip this target off and take a closer look in here. See where the big hollow is. Let's bring you in closer. Maybe bring you down a bit as well. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's go for these ones first. Oh yeah, they're penetrating a good 12-13 inches, them ones. But oh, there's only one that's penetrated all the way through, and that's that one. Oh, not that one. Yeah, that's penetrated all the way through as well. But there is a hollow, so once all this is filled up with foam, should be fine. Yeah, I'm happy with that result, and the backstop is actually stopping them. Doesn't matter if they don't stop them from that distance. I'm unlikely to be shooting from 5 metres, usually 10 metres. But from that distance, the arrow's coming down. Even if it breaches the backstop, which I don't think it will, it's going into ground behind. It's not, you know, going on its merry way in the air somewhere. Right, so that's it for this target. Let's have a look at the target boss. Right, so this target I've purchased off Amazon. It's a straw type of target, so it obviously needs a boss. All this timber is from B&Q in the UK, and it's called CLS timber. It's usually soft timber that they use in stud walls. It's cheap as chips. I think I paid £3 a length for it. I only needed 3 lengths to make this whole thing. Very simple construction. A-frame triangle at the front. This is just a strengthening bar so it doesn't go that way. 2 smaller pieces to hold the target on, and 1 leg at the back so that it doesn't go the other way. Now, I can't use this target at the moment because it does need to have at the back of it a arrow backstop netting, which I haven't bought yet, but I am in the process of purchasing one of them. Again, it's only for safety reasons at this range. I'm obviously shooting at eye level. The arrows could overshoot this target, and especially with my aiming, they probably will. So yeah, safety first. Just a quick note as well, I'm not in public woodland here. This is permission woodland. The landowner has allowed me to put up this small range, and I could elaborate as well. This pallet down here, just going off track, this pallet down here again is going to be like the blue pallet. Going to get some slats, put it over here, and then we can do some lower shots as well. So yeah, CLS timber, it's cheap as chips, like I say, and there was no particular measurements I worked to. I just went, oh well, it needs to be about eye level, so the you know, I need to cut two that long, and you know, and just worked it out. It's not rocket science. Small joint up here, which is just 4 screws. So as you, I don't know if that's good, the camera's going to pick that up, but it's just 4 screws, 1 straight piece and 1 that I've angled for the actual pitch of the A-frame. Again, I've got some of these pegs if I wanted to put a paper target, because it is reversible as well. If I want to put a paper target in there, them little black pegs can hold that in. And you know, you can use the reverse as well. When this gets shot out, we'll try expanding foam in this as well and see how we get on, but I might need to put a plank of wood at the back of it. Yeah, so that's it. Okay, so one last target idea that I had that I wanted to show you is these ducks. Now, this is 2 halves of a duck, obviously. These are life-size ducks and they are hunting decoys. Some people buy them to actually float in their pond. These are the floating kind. But yeah, again, dead cheap on Amazon. Filled them with expanding foam. Not sure how they're going to fare up to an arrow yet. I would imagine that they would shatter the plastic at least, and probably go all the way through the arrow, so that's why you need a good backstop. But yeah, just another idea for ducks. And also I've got a Halloween mask, silicone mask, that I've filled with expanding foam as well. That just needs a little bit more work on it. It's not completely filled inside, so yeah, that's another idea I had. So to round this video up, I'm quite happy with the target. Like I say, it's not a backstop. I'm not going to rely on it as a backstop to stop the arrows, but I think them coconut husks have done a good job at slowing the arrow down at least. Again, with the duck targets, I'll have a practice and see if I can hit one of them. And again, fairly cheap stuff. Expanding foam is next to nothing. I mean, the ducks, I think the duck was about £6, to be honest with you. Chopped it in half. I could use the whole duck and fill the cavity inside, put a small hole at the bottom and fill the whole thing up. May do that in the future, but you know, it's just to give you guys a few ideas of what I've done. If you want to see more of the bow in action, I'll leave a link in the description box below to when I first purchased it, and I was just out in the woods, just a bit of a music video really, messing about with it. So let's leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. Please, if you've liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're a new subscriber, don't forget to click the subscribe button and the bell notification. Click all for the bell and you'll be notified every time I upload a video. They're not all about archery. I'm kind of merging archery, bushcraft and wild camping. I have 2 permissions where I'm allowed to use my bow, so it opens up 2 new worlds for me. So once again, thank you for watching. I'll see you all in the next one, guys.